Hi, this is Robert Estrin at livingpianos.com. Today I've got such a wild story for you about how a piano move put my wife into labor. This is a true story and you've got to hear this. It's crazy. It's actually two piano moves, but let me regress and give you some background here. You know, I had a good friend who was another pianist, keyboardist, and this was at a time when keyboard technology was advancing so rapidly and we were both totally enamored with the latest synthesizer gear, and we were buying things and we'd get together and compare notes and just have a blast and jam together all the time. At a certain point he asked me, his mother had a piano. It was a Knabe grand piano, beautiful furniture, and she had some work being done in her home and she had to store the piano somewhere, and he asked me if I could possibly help with it. Well, sure. And so I said, you know, the only place we really have room for a piano, because at this time, you know, we had so many pianos all over our house, as I explained in a previous video. So we put it in our living room and it was fine there. In the meantime, she also had this nice dining room table and she asked us to store that. So we had her dining table and we had her piano and everything was fine. Well, at a certain point, and it was really weird that this even happened because we knew each other really well. As a matter of fact, one time we had her over the house when my mother was visiting. We all had a good time together. I played for her on her piano. But somehow she suddenly freaked out and said she absolutely needed that piano back to her right away. And she was getting threatening and she needed the table too. And I explained, you know, my wife is in her 9th month. You know, we're not going to have a kitchen table, but she didn't want to hear anything about it. So we made arrangements as soon as possible to get the piano out because she was really not very comfortable with the whole situation for some unforeseen reason. So it was all arranged, and at the same time, there was another piano that I needed to move, and then the same day, I had a wedding I was playing, so I couldn't be there for it, but it wasn't a problem because my piano tuner, he also moved pianos and he was skilled at that. At the last minute, the people he usually used to help him, which were neighborhood high school kids who helped him with a lot of piano moves, weren't available, so he had to get some other people to help with the move. And that's where the trouble began. But I'm now going to flip it to the other piano move. I finished the wedding, and I show up at a house, and it's a nice grand piano they had to get rid of. And we get to the house, we see there's some construction there. And the front steps are missing, and all that's there is a ramp at like a 45-degree angle. So we walk in, and I said, is that the only way out? And she said, that's it. And here you need to sign a waiver. The first thing they do is have us sign a waiver. And you know, by the way, I moved a lot of pianos because, you know, I was trying to offer people really good deals and didn't have much money. And so I'd move all these pianos. This was a crazy move, but we had a crew. We got the piano moved. In the meantime, what happened at my house is not to be believed. So my piano tuner with this crew, and my wife, first of all, underfoot is our 2-year-old daughter. She's trying to keep away from the move. It's going out our front door. And while he's a really good mover, he wasn't much of a communicator. So at a certain point, you know, nobody's holding onto the piano, and she sees this piano start to tip over. So here she is way out to here. She reaches over and catches the piano just in time and rescues that piano. Who knows what would have happened if that piano had gotten, you know, damaged, because this woman was already, for no reason that we could ascertain, she was really upset with us and wanted that piano back. So everything worked great. I get home with the piano safely, the crew, all the wedding went great, both piano moves went well, and we have a really late dinner, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're about to go to bed, and my wife goes into labor with our second child, and that was our son. The epilogue of the story is everything worked out great. We have 2 wonderful, healthy children. Pianos all worked well. The woman got her piano back. It has a happy ending. But that, I thought you'd get a kick out of that story. And if you like stories like this, share this with your friends and on social media. Ring the bell, subscribe, and to help reach more people with these videos. Many, many more to come. Thanks so much for joining me again. I'm Robert Estrin at livingpianos.com, your online piano store.